With me standing on this stage right now, my country isn't happy with me. They send me a lot of death threats, a lot of hate emails in my account. But I have one thing to say.
Estar aquí en ese escenario para mí esta noche es algo muy desafiador porque estoy recibiendo desde mi país muchos mensajes amenazadoras y emails con mensajes de muerte, bullying y reggae.
I have one thing to say to Trinidad and Tobago. I am happy. I am proud. I love myself. And no matter what you say or do, I am not going to stop. Transgenders are here forever. I am proud. I am courageous. I am loved. I am determined. I am powerful. I am a black empowered woman. Thank you and good night.
Yeah, boy. So I mean, we now have a transgender senator. You know, we have, and of course the door is always open. You know, for a trans person to come and tell us what.
As what?
If this is their same experience where people are in the inbox threatening to kill them, because I mean. And I don't know everybody. I don't know everything. But I rarely can see like somebody inbox threatening to kill them in Trinidad.
No. I could easily see that. I could easily see people trolling, being mean, being stupid.
I
don't know that it would be anybody would really be inclined to take it seriously.
Okay.
But yes, I can see like if you ask them to produce something, I could easily see somebody being able to produce something with people being mean and stupid.
I know I could see people being mean and people telling you all kind of shit up things.
And telling you kill yourself, yes.
Right.
Yes.
And probably I can see people telling. But I mean,
I've seen that on Facebook.
No, but I've seen people tell straight people kill themselves.
Right, yes, that's what I'm saying.
And
exactly.
Straight and normal people kill themselves, right?
Exactly my point. So that's why I wouldn't doubt it would stretch to that.
But in terms of death threats, to
take seriously, no, I don't think so.
No, but I'm saying I really got somebody like, I want to kill you, or I mean, in Trinidad, I don't see. We have our people who don't take nothing serious. Like, so I can't see it. I'm not saying it don't happen, and of course I'm ready and willing to be schooled in this. But I really can't see that now.
This is why, obviously, you know how I feel talking about these things, because to me, these conversations get real stupid real fast, because they hardly ever based on, they're never honest, and people just want to, kind of show they're on one side or another or whatever. And my thing is always, okay, what am I saw it on the newspaper today and I was like, what are we talking about? What is the news here?
Mm-hmm.
Now, nobody knows how credible these threats are, if the threats existed, whatever, right? Person say they're proud, they're happy. Okay, I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
They're happy, they're proud. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Where's the news?
And my thing is, so if you're happy and you're proud, why you need to say that? Why you need to say the first part?
Well, I mean, you could see it from the perspective of if you're talking to your haters. And as I say, I'm not doubting that she has haters. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting that there are people who say negative things to her and,
But before you say her, do you know what pronoun she
said a woman. She said she's a woman.
Okay.
She didn't say she's fluid or anything. She said she's a woman.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. I don't listen. That thing has confused me and mixed me up.
Well, I mean, I think some of it is meant to, but
okay.
But to be fair to that person, she described herself as a woman,
right? And so the people who describe themselves or see themselves as woman or woman, they do go with the pronoun or the them pronoun.
I think you could. It appears to me you could choose whatever pronoun you want, but you can't. In this instance, I can't be accused of being willfully malicious because they described themselves as a woman. They didn't say, they are fluid or non-binary, right? So anyway, yes, I'm not denying that people might say mean things to her, but at the end of the day, why does the world need to stop for this situation? Because I didn't know that this person existed before you sent me that video.
Right. And my thing is, I think the purpose of this person saying that was to gain that popularity. I had no idea what that was, or that competition was. I had no idea what. But obviously, I think this person, I could be wrong, but I think this person knew if I said whatever and I said Trinidad and Tobago, I think they knew it would have led to some sort of, we call it virality, whatever, right? In Trinidad and Tobago, and they would have gotten a certain degree of recognition coming out of.
And then it'll have some journalists go call some trans activists to get the view on it, and they go be on morning edition, and they go be on morning shows, and because ultimately, now I am not saying, and I'm pretty certain, and this will be clear here. I will be clear here. If the vast majority of people in Trinidad and Tobago were aware that there was a trans pageant and that we had a representative, I am quite certain there would have been a lot of people with a lot of negative things to say, without a doubt. And it may very well have been that she would have gotten widespread, not just, littered, problems in her inbox. She'd have probably gotten lots of issues, but nobody knew that existed. Nobody, somebody looking at that in that pageant would get the impression that all of Trinidad was abuzz with news that we were sending a representative to. I didn't know anybody that knew that was happening. I don't know if you knew anybody who knew that was happening.
No, there's
I've never seen that individual in my life.
Exactly.
I've never heard of that individual in my life.
No, if somebody like Kia come out and say that, I could understand.
Right.
I could really understand. Because I'm sure people tell threaten Kia life and thing. I'm pretty sure about that.
No, I don't think seriously either. But maybe if they threaten her life for other things though, not
for being that way.
Not for being that way.
Right? So I'm pretty sure about that. And I mean, we have some more popular ones, like we have Joel D'Souza, and so I think I would have been like, that shit up, but then like, I never hear about you. I never hear about the situation. I know nobody heard about you and the situation.
Yeah. So again, anybody looking at that would be like, wow, in Trinidad you must have been going through the worst, girl, and in Trinidad, people like, who's she? Was that? I've never heard of this individual before. Who's hated on her?
And no, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that if you just, I'll try and get it political. Anyhow, if people assume or think you are a transgender person and you're walking down the road late in the night, that some clown ain't going to interfere with you. And insane thing go up. Now, I'm pretty sure that
verbally,
happens.
you mean?
Verbally. Oh, I wouldn't doubt some wild young fellas if you see her like on the Murray or whatever the case may be. Well, not a regular person.
On the Murray, sorry, because on the Murray, they would harass a normal individual.
Yeah. Right? I no doubt in that at all. But this situation here, I'm just pretty puzzled now, boy. Like, I feel like this statement was made more for a reaction than...
Yes. I think a lot, and this is, again, coming back to what we're talking about, where we like games and we like drama. A lot of that, because now it will be a topic of discussion. And now, when the individual, if she hasn't returned as yet, whenever she returns, if she had gone to that competition and said nothing, she would have come back to Trinidad and nobody would have known. But when she returns, trust me, she's going to be on every single morning show. She'll be called by radio station. And that is probably what was behind much of the action.
And I think they will forget, boy, though. I think we'll more laugh at this. And I was like, what the fuck?
No, but she would gain notoriety. She would.
If I see that individual tomorrow in Trinity Mall, I wouldn't notice that individual.
No, I wouldn't either. Right. But what I'm saying is, because I didn't even pay that close attention to the person, because the video was kind of grainy too, so I didn't get a good look. But what I'm saying is, when she returns, she will be on every single, she will be interviewed. Yes. Yes, I see the articles already in the papers. She will be, somebody will chase her down and they'll interview her. And I'm sure she'll be interviewed on morning shows and her opinion will be sought after for trans issues and LGBTQ issues. And she'll become one of those people that they're going to call, like the guy from Kaiser who passed away the other day. Every time there's an LGBT issue or LGBTQ, whatever issue, they'll call and she will now become a lot more.
Okay.
I'm not saying that she's going to turn it into a lucrative career and become a senator or a radio personality like Kia, but I think it's going to be meant to.
But let me tell you, to be real honest, I don't want to be a hypocrite in any way, shape or form. I'm very proud of what you said about it. Cission, if that's what you identify with. And I think you need to bring light or not bring light, but bring attention to the possible discrimination or the discrimination against the trans community in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? I think that's very important, and especially on an international stage. Because when I decide to identify as something else and say, well, I need to live in your country because in my country, they don't treat people like me well. I need evidence like this now, boy. I need things like this to support my argument. You understand?
What you mean? That if you identify as American...
No. I'm going to identify as a woman, dog. If I need to do that. If I identify as a woman.
Oh, you mean a secret refugee status
somewhere. But in my country, it's dead church and it's all kind of thing down there. They don't like we, boy, dog, boy. They don't like we in that country.
And this is the thing that... This is why... As I say, I try to shy away from these conversations because a lot of it isn't real. A lot of it is, we live in a place where you just mentioned Kia and the Joel D'Souza, right? I'm not saying that these people face no form of issues, and maybe even it could be termed discrimination, right? In the case of Kia, I don't know if it's discrimination, but it is more likely to be running into people who are just not very supportive of your lifestyle, right? Or your choices in terms of how you conduct yourself. But this is a country where those people exist with nobody pelting stone at them, right? As a matter of fact, when you were talking about if you're a transgender, walk in the street, people harass you. Outside of the Murray, I don't even think that would be a situation. Outside of the
Murray and Europe.
Well, I don't see them in Europe anymore.
Yeah.
And well, for those the international listeners, the Murray is the name of a street where prostitutes, well, a lot of prostitution, solicitation takes place. Right. I don't know that if a transgender individual just walks down the street, that they're going to have...
minding the business on any given normal day.
On any given day, they're not
making a scene.
Yeah, they're just walking down the street. I don't know that you're going to experience, on average, a great deal of issues, right? Now, I'm not saying no issues ever going to exist. But
then if you ask a cisgender woman, she'll tell you, well, right. Issues walking on the street too.
Right, exactly, right? So, are we going to acknowledge that, or are we going to just pretend that, being transgender in Trinidad is like, being, apostate or something in a Muslim country? Are we going to pretend that is the case? Or are we going to acknowledge that, yes, just like everywhere, there are quite a number of people who aren't quite able to wrap their head around the idea of somebody identifying with a gender not assigned at birth. But we aren't a place where, you mind your business and people are going to make it their business to come up in yours.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So
they might mind their business, they might tell a little gossip behind the scenes.
Right.
They go talk a little thing. Hey, you see so.
Yeah.
But that's why I say I find it hard that somebody would jump in that person's inbox and say, I want to kill you now. And the thing is, and as I say, to take it serious, because I realize, you just go on News Before News TT page.
No.
And it's it can be depressing. But one day go on one of them pages with one of the murder situations, right? And read the comments. People be threatening each other down there.
I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that.
Because
That was saying I could easily see somebody saying shit.
You know, people always threatening people like somebody will say something and, well, boy, you could see your head go lick off after. Blah, blah, blah. Whoa.
It escalates real quickly. Real quickly.
Right.
So somebody saying, fireborn you. You come with me, I'll kill you. I mean, I'm not saying that that's right. And I'm not saying that that's okay. And that's something that we should condone. But I don't believe that any stable individual really believes that somebody saying something like that on the internet or in the emails or whatever, emailing it to tell her that.
Like, how they get email address though?
I don't know. Let's assume she mean DMs, right?
Okay.
Right.
But she said email.
She did say email, but let's assume she means inbox, DMs.
She confused with that too?
Brother, I don't know.
I
just give any person the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
Right? People misspeak.
So is it that her emails identifies as DMs?
Maybe.
Or her DMs identify as emails?
Maybe. It could very well be that. It could very well be that.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Again, no.
And to be fair, a DM is a form of email.
Right.
It's electronic message to you, which is technically mail. So anyway, let's assume she meant that. I am quite certain that if she goes if she has an Instagram profile or any other social media profile, people DM her and tell her, go kill yourself. Or I'll kill you. Fireburn you. I have no doubt that she encounters that on a regular basis. But I don't know that those are threats that the average person would really say, yeah, come in, I see you by, George Street. You just be there on a 10 o'clock on a Friday morning. I come in there to blast you. I don't know about that. That might be something it might be much more, we might take more seriously. But like you say, it's something, is a way to get a little attention to yourself, is a way to gain a little bit of notoriety, because we live in a culture today where victimhood and is you get a lot of attention and adulation if you could identify as being victimized. And we're in a culture that rewards this. Jussie Smollett is a good example of that.